PDGA's explosive growth, their end of the year demographic report, it was crazy to see how much the sport has grown. Um, we've got an 84%. Let's see. Ooh, transition. Boom. Check that out. I've got right there a graphic on the screen. Thank you. 84% player growth. There were 26,632 new members, 84% increase of player growth compared to 2019. And 2019 was a normal year. Like they had a good time. Like it was fine. Um Nothing too crazy there. So they had, like six, I don't know. Math is hard. Math is hard. So they had a decent amount there. Where this year it just blew it out of the water because PDGA is like playing disc golf is an easy way you can social distance, you can get outside. It is a cheap sport to get into, sort of. Like I will say like those players packs are cheap. The beginners ones are really cheap to get into. Everybody has them. They're all right around like $30 give or take, and they have everything you need to get started. And using a beginners pack like that for a long time, fantastic. Good job. Does not matter. You don't even have to upgrade from that. Like if all you do is go out every now and then and play, whatever. That's great. Get out, play, have fun. It gets more expensive as you get more into it, and as you lose discs, and as they get worn in, and as you just get bit by the bug and want to buy more stuff because disc golf is awesome and it is an addiction by far. It is a great addiction. It is so much fun. There's so many worse things you could be addicted to than disc golf. So yeah, disc golf, fantastic. Active membership also increased by 33% over the normal growth from last year, or the last 6 years. Last 6 years, the average growth was right around 15%. So this more than doubled it. There are 71,016 active members. Now, unfortunately, they didn't define what an active member is. Is that someone who plays a tournament? Is that someone who engages with the website X amount of times a month or a year or whatever? So, statistics with no context are kind of useless. Not totally useless, but kind of useless. Like, you can make those stats say whatever you want. Like, we have 150,000 active members because they paid their dues. Like, clearly that's not the metric they're going with, but at the same time it's like, come on, man. Like just get me something here. Get me a little something. PDGA membership manager Vic Allen had this to say: in March, we had to shut everything down, and by June, we were breaking monthly membership records. Like, who'd have thought that in March, where they I believe furloughed a few of their employees because, I mean, we didn't know. Like, sports, everything was kind of shut down. Like, you couldn't do anything, as he clearly said. But then May and June, things were opening up. PDGA was getting back out there. Baseball wasn't playing, basketball wasn't playing, hockey wasn't playing. Nothing was really going on. And all of a sudden, you hear about disc golf going, and you're like, all right, let me check that out. Oh, that looks like fun. You watch some highlights on YouTube going, oh, that Simon Lizotte, that Paul Macbeth, oh, that's easy. Those guys make it look really easy. Check that out. Everybody goes out, buy some discs, and that leads to our current disc shortage and explosive player growth because, that's pretty sweet. Canadian PDGA saw an increase of 30%, and PDGA Europe added 2,200 new members. That is 22% more than 2019. On top of that, like thanks to UDisc, we found out how many more courses were added there as well. So that was also exciting. They also had predicted initially at the beginning of 2020, they're going, all right, we're going to have about 5,000 events. They do these predictions every year just to get a gauge of where everything is. Well, then everything shut down. However, they still managed 3,437 PDGA sanctioned events despite the pandemic. That is absolutely insane. They had all of that stuff going on. They were able to um, they were able to get everything going and get the national stuff going on. I mean, it was an abbreviated season, but it was able to keep going, which is fantastic. And the fact that we had that many, like, I played more events last year than I would normally because I just had all this pent up energy and I just want to get back out. I wanted to get out disc golfing for various reasons. I didn't do disc golfing prior to that all that much because of other things that were going on. And then I got back into it, went hard back into it to the point like my shoulder was hurting a little bit, my elbow was hurting a little bit. But fortunately, that sports medicine degree that I have, I was able to treat myself and I knew to back off, unlike a lot of other people. And I was able to finish out my fall series and do well and make it through without any big injuries. So, little side note, if you start to feel some pain in your shoulder or elbow, you probably should take a little bit of a break, maybe get that checked out by your doctor, go to a sports med person, your family doctor. They're great for a lot of things, but they're not great with sports medicine. They'll just, you sprain an ankle, they tell you to take 2 weeks off and get back into it. That is not a good idea. That is actually a really terrible idea. Taking 2 weeks off is a bad thing, and plus your ankle's going to be weak and you're going to be more likely to resprain it. So your free nickel advice for injury prevention, go see a sports med doc if you get an injury. There's a lot of places now opening up those sports med, those orthopedic urgent cares, essentially. So yeah, that is what's going on there. So a lot of this information, getting back into it, I like to get off on tangents here. Clearly, you know that if you're watching and listening at this point. A lot of this information really mirrors what UDisc has said. So it's great to see that not only is disc golf growing, but the PDGA is growing as well. It's so good to see all that. It's so nice to see all of that going on and that more events are being added, more opportunities for people to play in tournaments are being added, tournaments are getting bigger. It's just great to see.